everybody? I'm your girl, Rashonda Hayes, also known as Ro on KPR Network.
Purge 55 all the way live. What's up, y'all? 8 toes down. Let's do this.
That's right. What's happening, y'all? It's Oliver Baker, a.k.a. Big Boogie, also known as Big Nasty, your mama's favorite stepdaddy. You dig? And how's the hair today? My bad. I need to go to the band and have them do it. But we want to start off by talking about an African-American person of influence that maybe people don't know. We're going to keep this tradition going as our sister Rashonda started during Black History Month, and we're going to continuously keep it going throughout our shows. So the person we want to recognize today, her name is Shirley Jackson. She's the person who invented fiber optic cables. So when you watching your show Power and all this, or whatever show you watch, you recognize Shirley Jackson for doing this. So as the first African-American woman to graduate with a doctorate in particle physics, Dr. Shirley Jackson's inventions are the foundation for a lot of modern technology. She started her career at Bell Telephones, helping to invent developments like touch tone dialing and call waiting. Most impressively, Dr. Jackson also invented fiber optic cables as an assembly that linked communication systems around the world. So salute Dr. Jackson.
Salute Dr. Jackson. I love that. I love that. Yeah, way to start our show off with that knowledge, okay? And that power, right? And respect to Dr. Shirley Jackson, you guys. Yeah, so let's get into it. Today's show, we got some interesting stuff jumping off. Taking it too far on social media. The guys and I, y'all, we was just discussing how, you know, on social media, we already know that everybody can be whatever it is they want to be. You know, people can come on here and pretend to be somewhere and they're not even there. But really, this taking it too far is when we see people hop on these platforms and they try to cancel other people by way of smear campaigns, you know, telling people's business to the fullest extent. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, how do we handle these type of things? I mean, and we see it all the time. We see it's gone from reality TV show to now it's here on social media happening. You know, the fights, the bickering. You can look in the comment section and see all kind of stuff jumping off. Then you have people like Charleston White, okay, who uses his platforms to just talk hella crazy about people. And some of the people don't respond. Some of the people just choose to move in silence. What you guys think? What do you guys think about taking it too far on social media?
Ro, I gotta be real with you, Ro. I'm glad we didn't have social media when I was a younger person, right? Because I'd be in jail. Charleston White would have got me. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way you're gonna talk about people's children, go into their city or whatever, and you don't have to go into their city. Just, you know, you make these vile threats about rape and stuff like that. Like, so if I feel like if the person who's receiving the trolling, if they're not of sane mind, it could really cause problems. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I think some of that stuff was going way too far.
Yeah. Punch.
Way too far. It's good. I mean, like you said, you know, they talking about people's kids, but shoot, they be talking about people's moms. They go they go straight to the moms automatically. And that's where I'm like, don't ever go talk about somebody's mom. Killing their mom and all stuff like that. Effing their mom, and it's like, stop. You know, like even when Pox you know, hit him up. You know, that was like, ooh, you know.
Yeah. But he didn't talk about nobody's mama.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, you see this guy, Charleston White, doing all of this. But, you know, you also see it with people who may not be so known, may not be so famous. You know what I'm saying? You're in your community, you can see people who do these type of things. I find it happens more so often on Facebook where people get on there and they type their whole long thing and telling their side of the story, and they're looking like a victim. And you ever notice though that people never tell what they did when they're telling their side of the story? They never talk about what they did, what they themselves did, how they had other people effed up. You know what I'm saying? They tell the side of the story where it's like, they're the victim. They're the ones that are hurt, but they don't talk about how they hurt other people. And I've experienced it personally, which is why it's a sensitive topic for me. Not sensitive to the point where I'm a cry about it, but just knowing firsthand, being a part of smear campaigns, being a topic of it, and people posting things on social media, people putting my name, Roshonda, in their posts very boldly, but not tagging me, so they're not too bold. And so, I'm someone who has moved in silence through it all, where people have called me, oh, you're not saying anything. I've heard people make comments, oh, you guys running and hiding and y'all ducking and dodging. And, it's not that. It's about wisdom. You know what I'm saying? There's an African proverb, I believe it's an African proverb, muddy waters are best left alone. It's just moving in wisdom. You don't have to give attention to everything that people are saying. Imagine if every time a dog barked at you, you turned around to pay attention to that dog bark. You're going to miss where you're going. You might stumble and fall, paying attention to these dog barks, turning your head every which way, but instead of staying focused. You know what I'm saying? And, have you guys has that ever happened to you? Have people ever, went there towards you on social media?
Kind of, sort of, but like mine always ended up like, like when you say the personal stuff, it always ended up to the street. Like, well, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? And just like we saw on social media not too long ago on YouTube, where ex-NBA player Kwame Brown had an issue with some guy on the internet. What does Kwame do? He finds out where they're going to be, goes to the restaurant, bro, and confronts the dude. Now, I thought it was kind of hilarious, but then when I sat back and I analyzed it, I said, whoa, 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 whoa. This is, where are we going here?
Yeah.
And what was this other guy's motive for, being Mr. Tough Guy on the internet with Kwame Brown? He wasn't prepared for when Kwame came into that room.
Most of them are not.
Well, because you don't know what crazy you dealing with.
Yeah.
Right. I said that was your time to get knocked out, little dude.
Right.
You're supposed to let that sit because you didn't talk to all this junk. So now it's time to show and prove. And we would respect you more had we seen some action. But on the same thing, it was like, Kwame, what are you doing? Why are you going in there? Because you're going to run into somebody like me who, depending on what day it is, is how I'm going to react. And so I might, dive on Kwame, right? And try to sue, you know what I mean?
Well, no, because that's the thing though, right? Like you look at Kwame doing this and it's like one wrong move and he could have lost it all.
Everything, bro.
Or his life could have been taken if that guy was really with the shenanigans as he was on social media. But a lot of these people who do these things on social media, they do them there because they're not really with the shits. They don't really want the smoke. You know what I'm saying? So you see this type of stuff happen all the time, you know, and
it's like the guy. It's like Whack 100. Y'all know who Whack 100 is?
Yeah.
He got so many. I mean, I wish somebody just did a clip on whatever he said. We gonna get down. We gonna get down. He got down with fire, but he didn't say it. I don't know how many times. You know what I mean? And so it makes it look like, oh man, you just talking. You know what I'm saying? And so it opens up for people to disrespect you.
Now, for Charleston White on his version of it he is more of a to shake up and have people poking at each other. He's that dude to keep people, on odds. Keep people on opposite sides.
Yeah,
that's
the
why he
divide and
talks. That's why he
conquer.
talks good for 1 second here. Then then he'll go, show his ass over here.
Yeah, because sometimes I be wanting to like this dude. Sometimes I do, because
he says some things,
really good stuff. Yeah, some things that make you think, and he'll come with some little knowledge, and it's like, okay, you're not so bad after all. Then you'll turn around and it's like, did you really just say that? Did you really just go there, dude?
But that's why, because like in our chats, people, I put a lot. We all put these in our little chats, and I put those little Charleston White little posts. I put those in there all the time because I want people to see he has a big duality. He has where he'll be talking about how we should all black NBA basketball players should just leave the NBA and start their own league and start for their own people and make it for the people. Okay, that sounds good to me. I think it could happen. It really could happen.
Yeah.
And then coin flip next day, he'll talk about how you got to marry a hoe.
I heard that too.
It's better to marry a hoe.
Or he talk about raping white women. I mean,
or raping white women. Yes.
I mean, which we don't condone no rape of no kind.
None of that. So you can't. So that's why you got to be careful. That's why. And people write, and this is again goes back to your shadow work again, because now this is where a lot of the stuff is happening because people don't have that discernment, that power. That's that big weapon.
Yeah.
And people don't know what's good and what's bad right now. I'm telling you, I think that's what the zombie apocalypse really means. People didn't do they shadow work. They walking around here like he's good.
Well, Pudge, that goes into what we were talking about with the 15-minute cities, because I prefer if you're walking around like a zombie. Guess what? You got a Rite Aid around the corner. You got a Vons next to that. You got a bank. You got your school. I don't need you too far away from where you reside at. So it's good. So you see why they got the 15-minute cities, Pudge. Now, Pudge, you tell them why they got the 15-minute cities, because we're supposed to argue and go viral on this.
Now, the reason why I say they got the 15-minute cities is because that's just them trying to make these little camps, these little internment camps. Yeah, they don't want you to leave outside this area. I'm telling you, they're gonna trash start. That's when they already trying to do the tracking with the new what you call it, the ID, what's it called?
The RFID.
Yeah, the RFID. So once that comes in, and then you put you in a 15-minute city, you're super tracked. You can't. They gonna see that, okay, you've been out too long out of your house. That's what I'm trying to say.
Bro,
this was you guys put me on about the 15-minute thing going on, because I hadn't even heard about that.
Right now it's in Canada. Right now it's being adopted in Canada right now, but they're already starting to implement it to be implemented in the first place is Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, but I'm a person of convenience, right? Like I live in Santa Monica. Everything is close,
Yeah.
No, I understand, but they're doing the way they're doing, saying that the 15-minute city is not just because of convenience, though. That's what I'm saying. They're doing it. If you listen, everybody go read the one that they're talking about in Canada, the Trudeau one. It's these people.
So it's like in prison now, where they give the prisoners an hour on the yard.
Yes, pretty much. Yes.
That's way out.
Yes.
It's a lot of stuff y'all jumping off to in the news, by the way. Mississippi gearing up to pass, or it has passed. I'm not 100% sure on this Jim Crow law. They want to take things back to segregation in Mississippi. They want to, stop allowing Black people to be able to vote. And, it's looking real slavish, real colonizing right now. You know what I'm saying? It's looking like they're trying to take it back to that time. the fellas and I were talking about Trump talking about make America great again. And I'm someone who believes that when he said that this is what he was referring to, that he wanted this America to just go back to that time. You know what I'm saying? Where Black people were subservient, enslaved. I mean, we already know white supremacy does exist, and the powers that are in law right now, finagling things and laws and whatnot don't look like us, and then you have this Mississippi thing going on, this Jim Crow law in Mississippi. How does that even pass in 2023, you guys? How does that even come up?
Well, it happens because of obviously systemic racism, but also, which is why we need to bring. I'm hoping we can get Oscar bring Oscar on the show to talk about why it's important not only to vote but also to represent your district, your county, your state, your legislature. Too many of us all the time when we think about government, we think of it as a them. Well, the reason why we think of it as government as a them is because a lot of times we don't participate within the government. But we want things, but we don't necessarily make things happen, So luckily, we don't live in Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? So we got a better shot, even though we still have a lot of racist, going on in our government here in California, but it's a lot less, right? So my thing is, those folks in Mississippi really need to start thinking about their politics, because ultimately that's what that situation is about. That Jim Crow stuff is about politics within their state.
Now, let me say this real quick, Beck, because you brought up a point where people need to get involved with their city. Now, for a lot of us, our cities have been regentrified. You probably one of the only brothers I know still living in Santa Monica. You know what I'm saying? Where we come from. And so, but you got people who now live in other cities. Like I live in the South Bay, but I didn't grow up here. But do I still get involved? Is that what you're saying? Still get involved wherever you live, or?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but not just your city, but the counties. There's a lot of things. You don't necessarily, I don't necessarily have to. I live in Santa Monica, but I can go help out in South Central or Compton.
I brought that up for people who may have thought that, because it came up for me, and I said, I wonder how many other people are thinking this, that I can't get involved. Because well, I don't live in I'm not from this city, but there is so much more you can do.
I was living in Northridge. I was doing the Santa Monica way card with Babe.
Yeah, but Pudge on the board with me on So that's what I'm saying. It's not, it's just doing something, people. Trust me, I'm not trying to, when I say these things, I'm not trying to beat anybody down who doesn't. My thing is just, the more people who get involved, the better. When I was in the streets, though, I couldn't get involved. Why? Because I was doing opposite things of what government is about, right? No, but as an adult, right, someone who's responsible, paying taxes and those sorts of things. And if I want to, you just got to get involved, people. You just can't sit on the sideline and then say, look at what they're doing to me, because then what?
Right. So are you saying, though, that in Mississippi, when this whole law was being passed, where were the Black people of Mississippi? How did this get past them? Was this on the low, behind the scenes? How did this get past them?
It wasn't on the low. It wasn't on the low.
It's not even on the low. These are people who, these are your elected officials governing. That's what they're doing.
Are you saying that the Black people of Mississippi didn't show up to come against this law being passed?
They didn't show up in the numbers. They didn't. But then there's a lot of redlining, a lot of, there's a lot of foul play going on too. I'm not saying that. But
Black folks in Mississippi are done. They have been beat up and beat up and beat up and beat up and beat up, and they're the one Black folks out of all the states that are the most beat up. I mean, Mississippi Burning. Take it back to the movie Mississippi Burning. I mean,
yeah.
They got a movie.
Right. Right. I remember that movie. Very
Yeah,
very dark for me.
it's they didn't even come out. People didn't come out at all. Zero.
Yeah,
And then
so
you got it. Go ahead. Go ahead,
no,
babe.
go ahead, sis. Go ahead. I'm
No, I was gonna go into talking about this Tennessee rep, Paul Sherrill, I think that's his name, who suggested bringing back hanging by tree as a form of capital punishment. You know, and again, is this a part of what they're talking about? Make America great again? Because you had a different take on the whole "Make America Great Again." You don't think that
no.
that's what Trump meant?
Yeah, okay. What I mean by that is that Trump is just dumb. He's an idiot when it comes to. He's more of he's a business dude. He came up with the key make great America great again was just a business slang thing. You know, what you call it a theme or something like that was just something that came up. It was the white supremacists that came and I think just took that and ran with it. He just came up with as a selling point. I don't think he wasn't saying it the way we know what it means. You know that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
Pudge doesn't give him the craftiness that I give him because I believe he knew what he was doing the whole time.
I believe it too. I honestly believe it too, Beg. I believe he knew what he was doing. He knew that he would incite this riot type culture. He knew what he would wake up within these white people who've been hiding behind the scenes, acting like, they cool with us, but really not. And want to see this hanging by tree come back.
That's right.
As a form of capital punishment. Pudge, tell them where they can find us real quick.
You can find us at KPR_network on Instagram. You can also find us here on YouTube at KPR Network. Also, if you want to drop us a line, you want to be a guest, or you got a topic you want us to talk about, the KPR Network at gmail.com.
Yeah, that's right, y'all. So listen, we talked about taking it too far on social media, but these reps, these laws that they passing too, they taking it too far. But I think you mentioned something interesting earlier too, Pudge, before we got on the show, that they're out of tricks. They have nothing new to do. So they got to return to the old ways, like a dog returning to his vomit. We're going to go back to the old ways, and those ways did not work. But you also stated that they are talking about this hanging by a tree as a form of capital punishment because they're tired of bringing the doctors in.
Well, it's about the lethal injection. When they bring the doctors in to do the lethal injection, they have complications with the injection. The patient doesn't die right away. They have to do a double shot or a triple shot or whatever, So that's why they came back. They wanted to do death by firing squad. They wanted to bring back the firing squad. So while the guy who made the bill for the firing squad put the bill on the table, another redneck cracker stands up and goes, "Can we add hanging by a tree?"
Hey, I got a solution, y'all. How about we let the creator do the destroying, and we just get rid of capital punishment.
I'm with that too. I'm not a fan of the capital punishment because who are we? Who are we? Yeah.
I ain't voting for playing God.
Yeah.
I stay away from that. I always have and always will. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Now, guys, I talk about my family though.
Well, that's one thing, but you're not judging them deciding.
I'm gonna be the executioner.
Yeah. Well, that's our time, everybody. Listen, before you decide to make any kind of moves, before you decide to open up your mouth to say something, ask yourself, does it even need to be said? Taking it too far is costing people their lives. It's been costing people's lives. And now you see it happening so much on social media, like we were talking earlier, but just in the world at large. Let's stop and think about first before we make decisions, before we do certain things that can cost something very high, something very valuable. But when it's happening to you, when someone is taking it too far with you, just practice wisdom and put your focus on what's more important. And we want to overcome this need to feel like we got to prove that they're right and we're wrong, or excuse me, that they're wrong and we're right, and so on and so forth. We got better things to do with our time. We'll probably have to tap back into this conversation on another show too, y'all. But until then, it's KPR Network all day. Knowledge, power, respect.
Peace.